bitches, every city in my tribe. Look behind. Booty dominate the world, peaches ripe.
So, okay, what's against purity culture? Curious.
Purity culture is an evangelical Christian ideology that essentially your purity is the value in your virginity, and that if you remain pure, you have a holy connection with God, and you need to pledge your abstinence to your Father. Also, that essentially you need to remain modest, have the binary gender roles, and that women are responsible for the biological thoughts of men, or for the thoughts of men.
And that's your thought. That's your thought on all Christians nowadays? You believe that's
No,
true?
that's what purity culture is. And I'm against that ideology. That
I think
that sex is a negative temptation, or is a negative temptation, that women are responsible for how men view and value them, and that virginity exists.
doesn't it go both ways?
Sure, and there are aspects of purity culture that I think are very toxic to men as well.
Okay,
But
so
all of these link to like the subjugation of women.
I think, see, I think that's more of an opinion, your opinion on how women should be looked at. Because some women are okay with
Not
carrying
as a
themselves.
sexual, as a sexual being, and that's their intrinsic value.
I never say that's their value. I'm saying
That's
when
what
it
purity culture is.
no, that's your definition of purity culture, but that's not what that is.
Okay. Can you
So when
explain
I
to me what it is?
so when I look at a woman, I might, I ain't perfect, but I am
No, I would like you to define purity culture and tell me how
I'm
I'm wrong.
about to. So I'm Christian
Okay,
based.
great.
I am based Christian. When I look at a woman, I'm looking at her attributes. You know, can she, just as I can she also manage a family?
What?
Can we work together? Will
That's
she
not what
cheat?
purity culture is.
Will she cheat on me? I mean, it is.
It's not.
See, but that's your definition of pure culture.
No,
Where
that is the actual definition of purity culture. This is not my interpretation of purity culture.
where's it coming from?
Where is it coming from?
Your interpretation.
It is not my interpretation. It is the definition.
I have to look it up, but I don't. I think you're. No,
You
I
think
mean,
I'm what?
I can see everything up here. You're all right. What's your view on men? I'm just curious.
Oh, what? What specifically?
What's your view on men? What do you think about men in
I
general?
I need more context.
How
I
should
mean, I'm
men?
not. I'm not gonna. What is my view on men?
Yeah, you say you're a feminist. So I'm trying to figure out what kind of
Yeah.
feminist you
So my if I were to define feminism, it would be equality between the sexes.
are. Okay, just nothing wrong with it. How do you see equality between the sexes?
Again, in what context?
So
Equal pay for
can a
equal work.
woman?
Non-binary social roles.
Okay, so okay, let's go with pay. Why does you think that females don't get paid the same as males? Because everywhere I've been at, they get paid the same.
No.
50 years ago, maybe not.
Women are statistically more likely to get paid less than a man for equal work.
And so give me an example of one. I want to hear it.
What do you mean an example of one?
So I can look it up. So a woman in the military makes the same as a man in the military, right?
I don't know. Does that depend on their rank, or
Yeah, this
are
is
you
just
saying that there is no like
at this point. I
sexism
mean,
of women?
if you're the president of the United States as a female, you're still going to make the same amount as a male president.
Right. Well, that amount
And if
is set. But if you haven't noticed, we haven't had a female president.
okay, so what that means is it's not that you have a difference of pay. Women are not being encouraged to go into the take those spots. There's a difference between that.
That is one lane of it, that there is not equal pay for equal work, which you can also see in a lot of other arenas of professionalism, like acting, for one, is one of the most prominent, as well as, sure, there's also not equal representation in our elected officials.
I don't see that. I don't see how you see that because
How many members
elected.
of Congress are women?
So again, like I said, that's due to what women choose to do. It's a career they pick. I mean, I don't see how you're. I mean, there's plenty of women in the military. They do very well, and they get paid the same. So that's a good example of how women just choose certain careers.
That's not true.
What about lawyers? Plenty of female lawyers that make plenty of money. I'm trying. See, I'm not. I'm not trying to argue. I'm trying to get. You can't really give me an evidence that that's true.
I just did. I told you that there is not equal representation of women in
Okay.
Congress. And
Okay.
you said it doesn't matter if the president is a man or a woman, they get paid the same. And I highlighted how we haven't had a woman president.
Because she did not get voted in. That's why we didn't. There's been a
Right, but
female running.
you can't ignore a patriarchal history.
So again, how close was Hillary to be president? Pretty close, right?
Actually, in my opinion, she won.
Of course you did, because you're leftist, right? That's what I figured.
No, because she won the popular vote.
She didn't win. That's just pretty.
She won
I mean,
the popular vote.
I don't care about
No.
Trump because I don't like him either, but she lost fair and square.
She lost by the Electoral College. She won by the popular vote, which should be the only standard.
Because we live in the U.S. and things need to change because now you feel like they need to change.
No, I think that George Bush should have lost when Al Gore beat him in the popular vote.
So, why do you think our voting is based a certain way when it comes to electoral colleges? I mean, why do you think it's based off?
Because when it was created, people in smaller states did not have access to the same information as people in urban areas because of the lack of technology and education. And now that is irrelevant.
So who votes in presidents?
The Electoral College. Thank you for the gifts.
So I'll put it this way. So if we have, let's say your main concern is abortion, right? You want abortion rights, right?
I want women's rights.
Well, abortion is a woman's rights regardless. So
it's reproductive rights, sure.
Right. So for the president gets support by those that vote him in. Does that make sense? Because money runs everything, right?
No, I would not agree that just because something is popular or it's because what the public wants, that laws get passed based on that nature.
But that's what is always discussed, what people want. So you got abortion. That's the big discussions right now. Now you have...
And abortion is actually 60% of Americans support abortion.
That I highly doubt that's the truth. Where'd you get the statistics from?
I'm pretty sure that's a CDC statistic.
Is it a CDC statistic? I'll look it up if it is. But
okay, I can find you the statistic.
So I mean, so 60% want abortion, right?
What? It's like 75% want a single payer healthcare system. Majority of Americans, I'm not sure on the exact percentage, support legalization of cannabis.
Yes, I agree. I mean, a lot
So,
of people do, but that's
yeah, it's
different
not
than abortion.
necessarily that ideas are popular that get passed.
So that's so when you look at so marijuana, right? Lately, has been a lot of medical marijuana is being allowed in most states, right? Again, that's because of popularity. Uh, Someone in the government decided this is what I want. Let's get some. So that's what was pushed. Now, am I saying that our government is perfect and that it's made up to? I mean, yeah, electoral colleges probably should be not should not be a thing. It should be pretty much voted on the people themselves.
Right.
But
I
that's
mean, the
not
electoral colleges disproportionately affect voters.
right. So
95% of campaign money is spent in 12 states.
right, I was just saying the voting was
But that's my point that Hillary actually did win because that is the most basic standard we should go on when it comes to who we vote into office.
well. The day that they do make it that way, then I'll accept it. But I won't until it's a thing. That's
All right. I mean, you
that,
just said it should be, so
yeah. I didn't say I'm against it. It's just saying I'll go with whatever's at the current the regulation that's current in
yeah,
place.
Trump's the accidental president.
Okay, I don't care about Trump anyways. So
Cool.
I don't like him either. But so I mean, I just want to come in and say what I think about abortion. I just don't think it should be a. I think it needs to be regulated. That's just on my side of the
Hi.
house. I just think. I mean, am I pro-life? No, but like I said, when it's an obsessive issue, when people are just going in to get abortions just
It
because,
just feels like your stance is like, I just want to control women at a certain point.
it has nothing to do with controlling women. It has to do with
And what does it have to do with?
the baby that's in that womb.
Right, but you're pro-choice. So you're
Uh,
not giving
I am
it
both.
value.
I'm both. So if the baby,
How,
if you
how can you be both?
you can be both,
Okay.
because I don't believe in complete. I don't believe in complete pro-choice because I don't think everybody should get an abortion, and I don't believe that nobody should get an abortion. I mean, you got to think
So,
about.
what is the standard then?
Well, for me, it would have to be. So, and I know where you're going to get. I can't really see the future here, but if someone gets assaulted, if it's evident, of course.
What do you
Uh,
mean by evident?
if they get assaulted and it's known, yeah, they should have that right to get rid of the baby.
What do you mean known?
It's on paper.
It's on paper. So
Yes.
he has to be convicted?
No, it has to be an investigation opened at least.
I
Convicted,
see.
no.
So there has to be a criminal report.
Something that she went
Why?
and because if there is an assault that happened and she very well did a report and she felt wrong about it because it was wrong, then there shouldn't be any questions asked. Obviously, there's a reason why
But
she might
why
not want
should
that
she
baby.
have to jump through that hoop? Why should she have to file a report and relive her experience in order to access health?
I'm so fucking cute, bitch.